Continuing to track the fire development that's been happening over the past 24 hours, especially along the Caldor Fire. We'll talk about the Dixie Fire as well. Some of the hot spots we've been tracking as this fire has started to move towards the Kirkwood area and along Highway 88. A little bit closer, though, to the Tahoe area, especially on the northeast side of this fire. You can see how it's spreading over towards Highway 50, over Echo Summit, approaching that 89, that turnaround there that you see near Myers connecting Highway 50 and 89. That's where really all crews are starting to establish right now to keep the fire from moving any farther off to the east and the north as it approaches South Lake Tahoe. But that could be the real firefight there, especially as winds start to change a bit in direction and in speed. Here's a look at some of the thermal heat that we're seeing from our webcam, and you can see how it's kind of moving down towards the valley here. This is the direction of that camera. It's over towards Heavenly Ski Resort. If you're familiar with that, that's over by South Lake Tahoe. It's pointing off to the south and west, so that's pointing in the direction of all that heading towards Lake Tahoe. So this is what's approaching South Lake Tahoe right now as people look over the crest and can see those flames starting to move their way into some of the lower elevations and trying to approach. Farther off, you could see from the lake that towering pyrocumulus cloud there, driven by the heat of the fire, developing even late into the afternoon and the early evening as well. So a lot of heat being generated by this fire. Not to mention today, a hot day for the valley and the foothills. Highs were close to 100. It was a very hot firefight there around the Caldor Fire, with temperatures even at the Tahoe Basin reaching into the 80s, despite the fact we had so much smoke, especially moving into the afternoon. Temperatures for tonight starting to cool, but what we're going to find is a bit of a shift in our wind direction. Throughout the day in the Caldor Fire area, we had pretty much a southwest flow, so that really helped to contribute to some of the movement off to the north and east here, especially around this little dog leg here, moving towards Kirkwood, and then obviously moving up along Highway 50, getting over Echo Summit, and with fire on both sides of Highway 50. It's been a really tough time, not only for firefighters, but everybody trying to cover it, trying to make sure that people get out of harm's way, and all the evacuations taking place earlier today with all the traffic tie-ups. Here's a typical fire behavior. Now, what happens during the late afternoon, we saw this very much to the letter today. Highest temperatures, strongest upslope winds, and lowest humidities really promoting that fire growth, and it was growing quickly late this afternoon and again even into early this evening. Then during the evening, what we're going to watch overnight tonight is how those winds are going to shift. We'll get those downslope turned winds. An inversion develops and the fire tends to settle down just a little bit. Now, it's not going to be the strongest inversion tonight, and unfortunately we still have very low humidities and we still have the winds, and we've got a pretty rapid fire spread that was going on earlier today. So there's a lot of containment lines that need to be drawn, especially as we dig deeper into this red flag warning, which now continues until Wednesday. Gusty winds, low humidity, and rapid fire spread, especially around the Caldor Fire. So we'll take a look at the winds and what's forecasted over the next 24 to almost 48 hours. We're looking at basically some lighter winds for tonight, but then by tomorrow afternoon, what I want to point out here is look at how these contours, these wind contours really start to ramp up coming out of the south to southwest. And that direction is going to push it a little bit closer to South Lake Tahoe, possibly even towards Kirkwood as well. Two of the more populated places in and around that fire that we're going to be tracking, especially with all of the resorts as well as people that not only live there year round, but also have vacation homes or just are used to having the opportunity to get up there to vacation as well. Wednesday, winds are a little bit lighter, but still of a concern, and that's why the red flag warning now continues until Wednesday. Now, for the Dixie Fire, just a slightly different situation. Winds aren't expected to be quite as problematic, still reaching that red flag criteria for our Tuesday outlook, and then they'll start to die down heading into our Wednesday.